This story is 100% real, and it's about an experience I had going on the deep web. For those of you who don't know, the deep web is pretty much the hidden internet. It isn't indexed by search engines, and you need special software to go on it. It is several thousand times bigger than the surface internet, which can be reached by Google, Yahoo, and Bing. It is also home to many illegal things. You can buy stolen guns, any drug you can imagine, stolen phones. You can even hire hitmen. Any illegal thing you can imagine, it's on the deep web. I never had a great childhood. My dad was gone all the time. My mom was too. And when she was home, it was normally verbal and physical abuse. I always needed to have a way to escape it all, whether it was playing video games, watching movies, or even drinking. One day, I was invited over to a friend's house for a sleepover. When I got there, she immediately told me she had something to show me. We went upstairs and she showed me her laptop. She said that she had gotten onto the deep web. We stayed up until late at night, browsing all the interesting things on it. She showed me how to use it and I took some notes. The next day, I decided to try it out for myself. I downloaded the software and was good to go. When on the deep web, there is a page full of links, and in order to go to sites, you keep clicking on the new links that pop up. At first, it was very boring, tons of dead websites, or disgusting ones full of videos of real people getting killed. Eventually, I found a forum. I can't remember what it was all about, but I asked how to get any interesting sites that were not legal. One guy sent me a link, and it said it was a site that contained leaked government documents, and I thought that was interesting, so I clicked on it. When I pulled up the page, I was pretty shocked. It was a whole bunch of videos of people getting tortured, raped, murdered, in the most horrible of ways. I have a pretty strong stomach, so it was easy to ignore and just exit out, but I realized that all the videos were playing at once. When I moved the mouse over one, there was no bar that let you pause or stop it. That's when it hit me. These are all thousands of live streams. I clicked on one that said homeless man kidnapped in my basement. In it, a man was tied to a chair, covered in blood. To his left was a table, and on it was a whole bunch of tools like axes, knives, and drills and hammers. And there was a hooded man standing by it. On the right of the live stream, there was a chat box, and people were requesting the hooded man to do various things like cut off the homeless man's hand and rip out his hair. Eventually, one man in the chat box said that he would pay several Bitcoin for the hooded man to gouge out the homeless man's eyes. The hooded man agreed and grabbed what looked like a fork off the table and began to walk to the homeless man. I quickly closed the live stream, but I could still hear it. I tried to leave the site, but it was frozen and I could only hear the horrible sounds coming from the stream. A few seconds later, the sound stopped, and a chat box appeared in the center of the screen. I couldn't exit out, but in the box, somebody typed in, "Hello, how did you like the site?" I paused for a moment, not sure if it was some kind of automated message, but then he typed again, "Are you going to answer?" I stayed frozen in place, but eventually typed in, "Who is this?" The guy explained that he was the owner of the site and that he liked to greet first-time users whenever he could. I got a disgusted look on my face, and this is where things got really scary. In the chat box, the man typed, "It's rude to make faces, Jen." My eyes got wide, and I noticed my webcam was on. I always keep it off. How did this man know my name? I covered up the webcam with a sticky note and typed, "How do you know my name? I'm calling the police." There was a brief pause, and then horrifyingly, a whole bunch of data was posted in the box. I looked at it and realized what it was. Everything about me, my full name, email, address, age. It even had all my parents' info as well. I panicked and shut off my computer. I hoped that would be the end of that. I did a complete wipe of all my computer's data and then went to get a drink. That night, my mom said she wouldn't be home. She didn't say where she was, but at this point in my life, I didn't really care. My dad, of course, was nowhere to be seen. I couldn't sleep, so I stayed up watching a movie and fell asleep on the couch. I don't know why, but at about 2:30 in the morning I woke up. The TV was still on and it gave off a dim light. But when I opened my eyes a little more, I almost screamed. There was a man standing just a few feet away from me with a mask on. I flew off the couch and darted for the door. I heard heavy footsteps coming after me. I flung open the door and ran outside, screaming as loud as I could, trying to get somebody's attention. I looked behind me and saw the man. He was running, and he was faster than me. I screamed louder and noticed I had tears running down my face, and then a bag wrapped around my head, and I was pushed to the ground with such force that I felt blood in my mouth. I heard a car speed up beside me, and I was being dragged to the sound of it. They were taking me away, and I was probably going to be on that site. I had almost accepted my death when the man with the mask screamed in pain and dropped me. I pulled the bag off my head and saw a van speed away, and I saw my neighbor hitting the masked man with a baseball bat. The police arrived, took the masked man in, eventually caught the van, and shut down the site. My mom and I moved out, and I will never, ever go on the deep web again. And I encourage others to never go on it either.